Hi Flosstube, it's Karen, recovering monogamous stitcher. I'm back with Flosstube video number 52. Today is Friday, August 30th. I hope to get this video uploaded this morning. And September 1st, Sunday, is my 2-year Flosstube anniversary. So I'm looking forward to doing a little celebration with you later in this video, so I hope you stick around. And so let's see what's up. I have lots of stuff to talk about, state fair results, lots of finishes, fully finished, and all that kind of stuff. So, but first, welcome. If you're my subscriber, welcome back. So happy to have you with me. I always enjoy your comments and getting to know recognize your online handle, and it's great fun. And if you're a first-time viewer here, you're so welcome. I'm glad you found me, whether someone recommended my channel or whether it just popped up in your feed. I'm happy to have you here. I hope you see something that you enjoy and that you will like and subscribe and become part of my virtual stitching family. That would be wonderful. Okay, I have over 4,000 subscribers, and my goal is to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you've been kind of lurking and just watching and not subscribing, I would really, really appreciate it if you would subscribe. I want to get my number up there. It makes my channel more visible to more people, and I would really appreciate it. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I got a couple of thank you notes. I appreciate it. You know, when I send something, it's to thank you for watching, and yet I got a couple thank you notes from viewers who had been recipients of some of my sewing, and so thank you for your thank you. I appreciate it. Not necessary, but I really I appreciate your kindness. Thank you. Okay, State Fair results. The State Fair closed on Sunday the 25th of August, and so the 26th was drive to Louisville, pick up my stuff, and bring it home. So everything is home safely. And so let me show you the results. I entered one quilt, and you'll recall, with this night, I'm just gonna stand up and get this. I'm not gonna roll my chair. Which someone said in the last time I was rolling my chair, she said that should be an event in the Olympics, chair rolling. Okay, Witch's Night Out, you've seen this. And Witch's Night Out was in the holiday category, and it got 3rd place. And interesting to me was that all 3 of the ribbon winners in the holiday category were Halloween. Places 1 and 2 were from Crabapple Hill Designs. You've seen their witches patterns where they color with crayons, and it's very pretty, very pretty. So that was 1 and 2, and I got 3. All my comments were excellent, except the judge said that the star points, I needed to be more careful with star points, which I had a problem with because in this quilt, every star is a floating star. That means the tip of the star is not in the seam allowance, it's inside the block. They're set in the block. Let's see, where is one? Like here, okay. So they don't go to the outside of that quilt block, they're floating, and every star, but I will admit, the half square triangle pumpkin, where's one I can easily show you? Maybe this one. There are some points that are close, but not quite where they should be. Like close to, where's something I can show you? I don't know if I can show you because, you know, camera, and I can't really get close. Okay, here, okay. Here's one, oh, you can't see it. Here's one that got buried in the seam allowance, and that's not right. They're looking at the technical details of quilts, and that's fair. That's a fair judgment on that. So that's Halloween, Witch's Night Out, 3rd place. That was my only quilt. And cross stitch, okay, you remember I entered Jane Hopkins, And this category was for specialty fabrics, not Aida. And Jane Hopkins came home with the blue. Yay, Jane! My girl did it. Happy to have it. Very happy to have the ribbon and the recognition. Loved that one. Love stitching it. Another specialty fabric. I'm doing this in the order that they are in the entry list. A specialty fabric that was finished but not framed. So I brought First Winds of Autumn, which is Blackbird Designs from the First Winds of Autumn book, or the Winds of Autumn. First Winds of Autumn? Winds, you know, Blackbird. And this got a 3rd place ribbon in the finishes that were not framed for specialty fabric. Now, one thing that annoyed me, and I didn't know if the judges judged it like this, but in the case, when I went to see it, they had all of these leaves flipped up this way over top of the stem, like this. So did they think it was supposed to be an ear of corn? I don't know, but so they're wrinkled, and I'm annoyed by that, but anyway, that's what happens when you enter things in fair. So 3rd place, First Winds of Autumn. Okay, the next one was Land That I Love, Teresa Kogut. This was entered in the stitched by someone over the age of 65. So this is the old person's category, which I was in, and got a 1st place. Thanks, Teresa. Now this one was entered last year. I don't remember if I put it in the sampler category or just the specialty fabric, but it got a 4th place. So it matured into 1st place over 1 year, sitting around getting better, I guess, with age. So that's Land That I Love. Okay. The 3rd framed piece that I entered was Maria Vincenza Laricchia. You remember this big girl? She was entered in the sampler category. And Maria Vincenza got a blue. Yay, Maria. That was a long way coming. Okay. Another category that I entered was a piece that was finished from a class. You know, you took a class and you finished it. So I made this biscornu. At Jingle Ball last year, I took the class with Janine McGowan. She taught how to do the biscornu. And this piece, 1st place. So for my cross stitches, I got 4 1st places. And I got 1 3rd place for cross stitch. And there were 2 things that were not, didn't get anything. The Prairie Schooler Santa and my October 31 pin cushion that was made with Aida. And then the 3rd place for the quilt. So I did very well for myself, I think. I'm very happy. So that's the result of the state fair. And if you've never entered your state fair, I would highly encourage you, any of you who are cross-stitchers or quilters or whatever. A lot of people come, and you just never know who might look at something and say, oh, I love that. I would love to do that. Or I used to do that when I was a kid. I would like to try that. I look at that design. I would love to have that on my wall. You know, I think it's our responsibility to help grow our craft, support our designers and the industry. And so think about it. Get your stuff out there. Okay, that's the state fair results. And I do have a big reveal. Fat Quarter Shop revealed this on the 27th, on Tuesday, from Halloween Memories. This is a stitch along they're currently doing. My stitch piece was featured on Tuesday, and each Tuesday they're featuring someone who has completed a different one of the cross stitches in this book by Susan Aki. And my piece was Learn to Fly. I completed it on Murky, and I did a DMC conversion. Of course, they are promoting the Aurifil box for all of the designs. But if I'm going to show a sample, I mean, there's a picture of the Aurifil finish in the book, so I'm showing something different. I did purple rickrack, and the fabric on the back is spooky googly eyes, and I found an orange button and put the 24 charm on it with a bulb pin, which I just messed up. Have a couple little pins in there. I have some fancy pins too that sometimes I have in there, but they kind of flop over, so I have a couple black-headed pins. So this is Learn to Fly from the book Halloween Memories by Susan Aki. You can get that through Fat Quarter Shop. That was great fun. I'm happy to be adding that to my Halloween display this year, which I'm about ready to do. That quilt is ready to hang up. Mr. Neighbor is going to put up a different rod for behind our dining room table. We always have a quilt hanging there, and it's kind of it rests on nails, and so anyway, I have a rod that has an actual, what do you call it, bracket, so it'll fit better and more securely, and so I'm ready to get that up and get the Halloween stuff out. When we get to August and September, I have very little to show. You know, when Patriotic is done, I have a couple little pieces that say August with sunflowers on them, and September, I have nothing. So I'm ready to go with Halloween, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, that's the big reveal. So what have I done in the last 2 weeks? Here's my book of days. I stitched nearly every day. State Fair pickup day ended up being a not stitch day, because we did that in the first thing in the morning, got back, did groceries, got back, day's half over. I just putzed in my sewing room, organizing and getting things set for my projects and stuff. So I didn't get stitching done that day, but otherwise the other days I did. And I had several Zoom meetups with Central Kentucky Stitchers. The other group I met at StitchCon, I was not able to meet with them at their Zoom time. And Queen City Sampler Guild, I may have missed one. So anyway, but I do participate in Zooms. It's a great way to have time with stitchers, get to just talk while you're stitching. It's always better to be in person, but Zoom is a good alternative. And as I have said before, if you don't have a group and would like to stitch with other stitchers, if you join the Facebook group, Central Kentucky Stitchers on Facebook, you would know then our Zoom schedule and the link and how to get in. And we're a very inclusive group, very happy to have people join us. So I don't think you'd be disappointed. So I encourage you to do that if you are without stitching friends. Okay, so I have some FFOs. Yay. Fully finished tomato. This was a freebie from Lila's studio, and I finished it on this board. My friend got this at Goodwill. I think she had several. Several of us were gifted these boards, and this was just the perfect size for it. I did size my fabric so it would fit the way I thought it should fit. I'm happy with the way it turned out. I'm not exactly perfectly squared with my design, but I'm happy with it. I laced it to mat board with a layer of batting behind it, so it's a little puffy. And I laced it, but then I glued it to the board. It's not coming off. It's not magnets. This is its permanent finish. So I used Aleene's glue, glued it down, put a weight on it, left it overnight, and this is fully finished. Very happy with this. I stitched this on 28 count clay. I don't know the dyer of that, and I used all DMC, and I stitched 2/2. I changed the scissors, called for the same color that was on the top and bottom of the spools, and I didn't like that, so I changed to a DMC. I think it was 03 for the scissors. To me, that looked better. So that's Lila Studio. Okay, I have another fully finished. It was a start and finish and fully finished, except I forgot some back stitches. So in our stitching group, we are so lucky to have a very talented new designer. She's been working on some designs, and she's going to get some stuff out there, and she's going to knock your socks off. It's all original. She's not doing reproductions, she does all original. Her colors, her color choices have always impressed me with everything she's done. And she came up with a logo and design for Central Kentucky Stitchers, and I'll just flash it here. I do highlight when I'm having trouble counting. I use a highlighter, so there's some highlights, but okay. She also did a back stitch of the outline of the state of Kentucky, and that's what I forgot. And I have my stitching mat. She used 3 shades of green, and I chose colors that would match my stitching mat. So I chose the red that matched as closely as I could with my DMC, and the bright pink, and then the soft pink, because that's what I take to retreats. But when I showed this on the Zoom, they said, I noticed, or they noticed, or something, it came to my head, I didn't do the back stitch of the state outline. So now I'm thinking about how I can do that, because I do have SF 101 ironed on the back. So I don't know. I'll give it a try. Give it a shot. Anyway, so my stitching mat is properly adorned now, and look forward to hearing from Ruby's Garden Designs from Shelley. And I'll be sure to yak that up when she actually gets something that's out there and available. So in addition to those fully finished, I have another finish. I finished Octopus's Garden, which is by Blackbird Designs. This is part of the Magical Mystery Tour series, and there are 6. It's 4th in the Magical series. 6. There are 6. Sorry. Brain is just gone. So this is my 5th of those, and I have started, I'll show it to you. I've started my number 6. So here's Octopus's Garden, and I've remembered this time to post it on Instagram. It's part of the BBD Magical Mystery Tour, and I tagged Sarah Stitchy Spot and Peg Page and FSB, why can't I read it? Oh, Fab for Sale. Fab for Sale, and tag Julie in Stitches. So if you'd like to do those, jump on, share your pics. I'm terrible at putting stuff on Instagram. For one thing, I've kind of been disappointed with the way the tags work. But I did post the tag for Leanne's Legacy the other day, and that showed I was able to go to that and see all the things that were submitted there, so maybe it's working again. So I posted the Octopus's Garden, and I'll check that out and see if I can see everyone's stuff. Okay, my other is the new start. No, I'm doing this out of order. Sweet Summer Come Again, which is in its bag in the other room. I didn't bring it. I did post that picture on Instagram though, so check out the picture on Instagram. I'm doing Sweet Summer Come Again, which is a Blackbird design, and I'm doing that in honor of Leanne's Legacy. Her birthday was August 25th, and many of us continue to honor her legacy on August 25th, and some do it every 25th of the month, and good for you. And I always remember the August 25th because my dad's birthday was August 24th, so anyway. Okay, so that's that one. Oh, you know what? I have to go get it. I have to get it. 1 minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, I'm sorry. I try to be organized. I think I'm organized.
Do you have everything, Karen?
Yeah, I have everything. Anyway. Okay, so this is Sweet Summer Come Again. This is what I stitched in honor of Leanne's Legacy, and I have enough fabric, I think, for the little needle roll, so I'll get both of those pieces out of this fabric. Now, the reason I needed to actually go and get this and not ignore it is because of this bag. I have Leanne's Legacy in this bag, which is on a mesh. I used a shepherd's bush pattern to stitch the design on it using pearl cotton. I turned the pattern upside down, turned the bag upside down so I could reach inside and do my stitching, and that's how I stitched it. And there. Now, one of my wonderful viewers, Janet, has figured, she was concerned about doing this and perhaps snagging the stitches on the back. So she came up with a method of finishing the inside so the stitches will not get snagged. And I'm sharing her Instagram in the notes below. Be sure to check her out on Instagram. It's Janet_idle_knot. IDLEKNOT. Janet_idle_knot on Instagram. She shared pictures, and if you're on Facebook, she has shared it there also. She has a different name. I think it's her name, and since I don't have permission to say her last name, I'll let you get to her through her Instagram. But it looks like a great method. If you're interested or have been concerned about stitching on the mesh bags, check out Janet's Instagram. And thank you so much for sharing that with me, Janet. I appreciate it very much, and I know some other viewers will appreciate that too. Okay, so now I'm at my new start. Okay, Yellow Submarine, Blackbird design. This is, for me, number 6 in the series. For them, I don't know if it matters to you what. This was the 5th in their series, Yellow Submarine, and I just got it started the other day. I spent a couple days on it. Had the fish all done, had to pick it out yesterday because I had not counted correctly coming down here. You know, counting is hard, you've heard that. So I'm doing this with a combination of DMCs and the overdyed threads that are called for. Frankly, if I had the overdyed, I used the overdyed, but I used the DMC if I didn't. And it's mostly overdyes. And this fabric is 36 count linen, and it's called Through the Stones from BestitchMe. I think she did a whole series of names that were based on traveling through time. You know what I mean. Why can't I think of it? Julie and Jane used to joke about it being almost pornographic. So anyway, you'll figure it out. Anyway, so that's Through the Stones, BestitchMe, Yellow Submarine. So that's my start. That's my stitching for the 2 weeks. I have a little bit of haul. Okay, sorry for the crinkle. Fat Quarter Shop had this set of 3 bags on their flash sale. I always check the flash sale. And it was a great price, so I grabbed them, you know, sort of following the theme of the mesh bag and stitching on the mesh bag. So now I have more mesh bags to stitch on. So that was flash sale. And you can't order just one thing and pay postage for it, for heaven's sake. So I got a piece of fabric. I got 40 count Vintage Country Mocha, which to me is a great all-round color. It goes with almost everything. Sorry, I bent over. And then this BestitchMe fabric, I got one more reproduction. This took quite a little travel tour of the country before it got here, but it got here. Thank you, USPS. Another beautiful color, and I got a 46 count because sometimes I want to make something just a little bit smaller, and if I up, of course, the thread count, you make your project smaller. So I'm trying to get some 46s on hand. Okay, the other thing I got. This was a pre-sale from Fig Tree. Gosh, it must have been early summer. Maybe it was even in the spring when I ordered it. It's a kit, and they've kitted it up to make 3 different styles of bags. A tote bag, and it has this craft tex. Is that what it's called? Craft tex, I think it's called. It mimics leather anyway, but it's a craft tex something. I'll show it to you in a minute. So there's one bag, and then the craft tex goes down here to keep it from wearing out. And then this style bag, what's that? Kimberly's Sack Remix. And then this one is Bag Lady. You can see where the craft text goes on that. And it's supposed to, she's supposed to provide tutorials. So all of the hardware came with the kit, and this is the craft text. I'm looking forward to doing this. It's really, it's hard and stiff. So I'll be interested to see how it sews. But I can see that that would be a good thing to have on the bottom of a bag to keep it from wearing out. I didn't really want to take that out of there, but I did. And then the fabrics. This is their new line of fabric, Denim and Daisies. Right? Did I get that? Denim and Daisies, yeah. It's new, beautiful blues and the caramel color. So this is the fabric that'll be used on these 3 bags. So looking forward to that. Another little sewing adventure. Okay, so that's my haul. Okay, let's have a little celebration. As I said, September 1st is the 2-year, and okay, I've got Flosstube throat again, sorry. Excuse me, the 2-year anniversary of my Flosstube. So to celebrate that, sorry, I have some gifts I will share. So if you would like to be a recipient of one of these gifts, you must like the video, you must comment on this video, don't send me an email, please be a subscriber, you must be over 18. And I always think, who's under 18 watching my video anyway? And if they are, they should teach me some technology or something. Anyway, so you have to be over 18 so I can legally ask for your address. And again, I'm going to have you just put a numeral. You don't have to do words, don't have to make sentences and all that stuff. So if you would like a project bag made with Blackbird Designs fabric, I've quilted it. It's a vinyl front. That's the style I make, all vinyl front. If you would like to be the recipient of this bag, put the numeral 1 in your comment and you will be entered in the random drawing. And I have 2 bags that are made with Teresa Kogut fabric on the back. The lining is not and the finishing is not, but so it's a Christmassy theme or winter theme. I have 2 of these bags. If you would be interested in winning one of the Teresa Kogut, I said winning, I didn't mean to do that. If you would like to be the recipient of a Teresa Kogut project bag, please put the numeral 2 in your comment. So I have these 3, which I'll announce at, I'll do the drawing on the morning of my next Flosstube. And I'll give you, you know, like the couple of weeks to contact me. Maybe give you one more warning if somebody doesn't contact me, and then that'll be it. It'll be saved for another giveaway if that should happen. Okay, so I appreciate so much all my good subscribers. Appreciate it very much. I hope you'll be a subscriber if you want to be a recipient. And we're ready to move on to the quilts. I have 2 quilts I'm going to talk about and show you. You've seen them hanging around here for a bit. And then we'll take, for the other quilt, we'll take a walk over to the long arm and take a look at that on the long arm. Not everybody knows how the long arm deal works, so we'll spend some time doing that. So I'm going to disconnect the camera. We'll take a look at the Tannenbaum quilt, and then we'll walk over to the long arm. Okay. Let me just see. I have to move this stuff out of the way. Camera back, table back. Okay. Okay, you've seen Tannenbaum over here in bits and pieces for a while. These are the rows I've not assembled yet. Let's see, since the last time I finished the last block, I think that was the last thing I had to do, that block. Then I went back and these raw edge appliques were ironed on, but they were not appliqued down with zigzag. So I did that. And I did that as well on this panel. Now for putting raw applique down on, I use a 7010 Microtex needle. I reduce my top tension to 0. Aida Sitar says a lower tension on the top. Well, I have to go all the way to 0 and my top still pulls up the bobbin thread. So I put a stabilizer on the back. Maybe I can flip this. Which it's not an iron-on, it's just a stabilizer. So I stitch through it, and then when I've done stitching, I take the extra away. It remains just behind the stitches, but it keeps that bobbin thread from being pulled up to the top and ruining my applique stitches. So that's what I do with that. So I've done this assembly. So far, so good with the cutting. I haven't messed anything up yet. I shouldn't put that out to the universe. That's just tempting fate. So the top, they're still in strips. This is going to have, the next 2 rows will be assembled here with the triangles on each side, and then these strips go on the sides of those. And then there'll still be this and the base. So that's the status of Tannenbaum from Laundry Basket Quilts. I'm pretty happy with it. I do have some points that aren't perfect, but that's the way it goes. There's a lot. Okay, so now I'm going to take a walk over to the long arm, which is where when I film, it's directly in front of me in like a hall area. It goes out of my sewing room, so we'll walk down here. Okay, so this is my long arm. I have a Lucy APQS, which is American Professional Quilting Systems, American made. This is not a computer-aided machine at all. It's entirely hand-driven. I sometimes use a ruler to help me make a straight line, and I have various curved rulers that can help me with curves. Now, these are not the same as your sewing rulers, not at all. These are 1/4 inch thick, and you would never use your rotary cutter rulers on a quilt. I have laid them down to do some marking sometime, but you never quilt with them as a ruler. So here I showed on Instagram, the barn part. So if you didn't see that, you may want to go to Instagram and check that. I started at the top, did all of the stitching in the ditch as I worked down because I wanted it to be stable, and specifically because these bands here, I'm doing feathers going from the bottom to the top, and if I want them to end up that way, I don't start at the top of them, work down, I work up. So I wanted to get all the way to the bottom, which I did, and it's just, let me unhook this to show you a little bit. It's kind of, okay, it came all the way to the bottom. Got my feathers, I did scalloped feathers along the bottom here. Trimmed off all the extra batting so I could roll it up tight and then work my way back. So everything coming down from top to bottom is stitched in the ditch around the 6-inch blocks, not within, but around the 6-inch blocks, so I don't get any folds on the back as I roll it back and forth. And then now I'm starting my way back up, and I'm working on the blocks as I go. I've got, and this applique around the outside, which is completed the same way I did the applique on the Tannenbaum. And as I'm going up, I'm filling in the details, pebbles. I don't know if you can see that. I should turn on my side light, because the bright light really hides the texture, whereas if you have a side light, it makes the shadows show up the texture. So I have 2 rows of blocks done, and I've worked my feathers up that high. So the next thing is to roll it. Well, no, I'm going to finish this applique up. I've finished the applique on the other side, and then I can reach these blocks to quilt. So I have a quilt machine that has a nice deep throat, but I'm short, and I can't see unless the stuff is way down here in front of me. Let me relock this. So, I can see to quilt like, oops, here, whereas my machine could go way up here, but I can't see what I'm doing, so I'm stitching pretty close to myself here. So this is the barn quilt. You saw it hanging up. And I'll keep working on it, and I'll show you some progress again another time. If you have questions about the whole long arm deal or the quilts or whatever, go ahead and post your questions. And okay, so we've done everything. We've talked about our celebration, and that's it. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. Be sure to comment on the video if you are interested in being a recipient of a bag. Comment even if you're not interested in that. I would love that too. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, Flosstube. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.